You're listening to Brainbusta Radio.
Hi everyone, it's the Queen of NE, and you're listening to Wrestling Reverb right here on Brainbusta Radio, where you can also find me on Queen's Court every Wednesday.
Hey yo, Josh, let me get a little bit of reverb. Yeah. J. Will. Yeah, I'm about that lifestyle. I talk green work, repping it all over. It's right on the t-shirt. Fan for a lifetime. Yeah, that's a long pass. Figure I would show some love right on the podcast. Turn this up loud and make sure you don't do nothing else. Cause if you're listening to us, then you're improving your health. My name is J. Will. Welcome to the show, yeah. Wrestle, flow, 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 yeah.
Reunited, and it feels so good. It feels like you and me, Kev, has not talked for so dang long. I know it's only a week for the people listening, but we haven't talked nearly in 2 weeks, and I don't know how I feel about that, Kev. But this is Wrestling Reverb. We are talking today. Kevin, I've missed you, pal. What have you been up to?
It's been such a long time apart. I know it's only really been like 2 weeks, but it feels like 2 years.
I know.
I've been, keeping busy with the writing, with the Diva Dirt stuff. Just wrote a couple things today. Wrote a column for the Chair Shot. I've been keeping busy, man. How about you?
Yeah, I've been keeping busy, as everyone knows that has followed me on social media. Diving In is coming out next week. I'm very excited. I have so many interviews and just chats with very respected members of the wrestling community to talk about other things. I've got Wilf next week, the leader of Brainbusta Radio, that you're listening to this on right now, hopefully. He's coming on next week. We're going to talk about all different kinds of things. Make sure you stay updated to my social media. Diving In is every Tuesday at 7:30 p.m. Australian Central Standard Time. That's, for you guys in the States, that's like 6 a.m. So when you wake up, it'll be there ready. For you guys in the UK, it's sometime in the morning. I believe it's like 10 or 11 in the morning. So it all works out. It's just a good time to drop it every single Tuesday night. But yeah, I'm very excited about that. So I've been keeping really, really busy. And we got some things lined up for Wrestling Reverb as well for next week. We'll keep you in the loop on that. We have been a little bit stagnant with our content releasing. We're only releasing on Fridays at the moment, but we'll get back into a zone soon. It's just the post-WrestleMania time, and it just is what it is. But first and foremost, Kevin, how did you like my beautiful pipes at the start of this episode? I was planning to sing along for a little bit longer, but I couldn't do it.
You should have kept going, man. You sounded. This is like American Idol. Do you know what American Idol is in Australia?
Yeah, we had Australian Idol, and we get American Idol, and we get crazy Katy Perry on TV over here. She's cuckoo, isn't she?
Yeah, I don't watch the show. That was just the reference I made out of the blue. I watched like one season of it in high school. I took a class where literally the two things we had to do were watch American Idol and the VH1 Top 20 Video Countdown. And that was, if you watch those every week, you got an A.
Yeah. I watched The Voice. You guys have The Voice over there, but we have The Voice Australia. Yeah. And it's fine. Boy George is on it, and Kelly Rowland, Delta Goodrum from my Australian friends, and Guy Sebastian from my Australian friends. At one point, The Voice Australia had no Australian judges, which is really weird. But anyway, that's a different topic for another day. Let's talk about wrestling. All right, because I don't know, Kev. WrestleMania is great because you hit this high. We had beautiful moments at WrestleMania. I genuinely do still believe that this year's WrestleMania was one of the better WrestleManias we've seen in quite a while. But the problem with hitting that high is that you got to crash down at some point. Every high has a low. And I feel like it's starting to pick up again, but I feel like the last few weeks we've been in a very, it's just been like superstar shakeup and nothing really else has happened. There's no story that I'm digging my teeth into. I'm starting to with a few things now that I'm thinking about it, but I don't know. Are you in a bit of a lull when it comes to WWE content? Because I am.
Absolutely. And I think that they're in a lull as well. Raw and SmackDown haven't been the most exciting of shows lately. Didn't even watch SmackDown this week. Did watch Raw. But yeah, I'm definitely feeling a little not burnt out, but a little tired with the on the wrestling front. But the show must go on. Off season.
Of course. It's I feel like it probably happens every year, but we just forget. We probably get in these little moments, but Money in the Bank will get me back in it. I feel. I feel like Money in the Bank is fun enough to get me back in. Just the outcomes of Money in the Bank. It's not even so much the match itself. I don't know. Just it's exciting for that. I'm looking at the card of Money in the Bank. I was looking at it yesterday, and I was like, damn, this show is actually going to probably be pretty fun, to be honest with you, and it's starting to get me a little excited for WWE content at least, and that's a good thing. But I'm sure by the time Money in the Bank rolls around in a few weeks, we'll probably be a little bit more into it than we are. I don't know. How do you feel about Money in the Bank? Because, it is exciting, but I feel like I'm more excited for the outcomes than the actual matches.
It's tough just because the reason it takes us a little bit to get into Money in the Bank is because there's such a long layoff after WrestleMania. It's going to be about a month, and it's going to be about 6 weeks since WrestleMania when we have Money in the Bank May 19th. And, I'm excited for the matches, the Money in the Bank matches, because they're fun. They're very fun. And I'm really excited, like you said, with the outcomes, because I have my own thoughts on what the outcome should be of the two ladder matches, and I'm invested in seeing those come to fruition. Other than that, the rest of the cards so far, Becky's defending both her belts. The Becky-Lacey match, we don't really know what to expect because Lacey's new and hasn't really had a match yet. We've seen her on NXT, but this is a whole different animal. And Becky and Charlotte, I'm excited for it because I think it's a great feud, but there is somewhat of a fatigue with those two.
Oh, definitely. Listen, I personally think that Becky stays on Raw, and I think she'll probably drop the SmackDown title to Charlotte. Now, when this was first happening, when Bayley and Charlotte had that match last week on SmackDown, and the winner fought Becky, of course every part of me was like, I want something fresh. I hope Bayley wins this match. And then, of course, Charlotte won, and I was like, what the fuck? Here we go again. But actually, sitting down, this is the beauty of my brain, I guess. I actually sit down and analyze it. It's better. I think, like I said, Becky goes to Raw, so I think this is the nice little stamp on the end of this between Charlotte and Becky for now, and they can revisit it in a few years' time. I think it's a nice little stamp on that. I think Charlotte takes the championship away from Becky, and look at the possibilities of people that can work with Charlotte. Ember Moon, Bayley, Mickie James, Liv Morgan, the list goes on and on. So I think you have more potential for better matchups with Charlotte as champion. And then Becky on Raw can have matches with the likes of Lacey, Ruby Riott. it's just a little bit more fresh for Becky to go to Raw, Charlotte to go to SmackDown, and they go their separate ways. So actually analyzing it, I think it is better that Charlotte and Becky have one great final match for now to end their they didn't really, because when you look at it, Becky did not beat Charlotte at WrestleMania. She did pin Ronda. Pin is a funny word, but
it was close.
She didn't beat Charlotte. They didn't really have the defined end to their rivalry, and I think we need that. And listen, look at these two, their track record. They've had nothing but exceptional matches every time they do work. So it's not like we're going to get a bad match between them. Some people are like, I'm so sick of this, they're going to have a terrible match. It's like, no. Look at the level of talent in the ring, and they've worked so many times at this point that they could probably work each other with their eyes closed and still have a fairly decent match. So, and people don't give enough credit to Charlotte. Charlotte is fantastic. I think Charlotte, all in all, has probably all-round better matches than Becky, in my opinion. I don't think Becky's bad at all. No way. She's great in the ring. But I just think Charlotte's style matches everybody, when Becky's maybe doesn't. I don't know. Or maybe just Charlotte is a little bit flashier than Becky is what I'm trying to say.
I think that's the point. I think that's like the big, that's a very real thing, is that Charlotte is flashier in the ring. Becky's more about, she's a bit more technical.
Yeah.
A bit more about, just getting it done. Charlotte has the move set. But Becky has sort of like, I think they're both really consistent with their matches. I think Becky had a great match. I think Becky had the women's match of the year with Asuka at the Royal Rumble.
Really?
So far, yes.
Oh, yeah. Okay, I see that.
But, Becky and Charlotte could easily top that at Money in the Bank.
Oh, yeah.
They've had great matches before. And going back to what you said, Becky didn't beat Charlotte at WrestleMania. And if you go back further than that, they had their match at Fastlane that got broken up.
Yeah.
So they really haven't had a definitive match, just one-on-one, in a while.
Well, they haven't had that one-on-one match since Evolution, when you think about it. And that was a gimmick match. That was a gimmick match, so it really wasn't like, I know people say, like, it was still, but I haven't had a regular one-on-one match with no outside, nothing, no shticks, no gimmicks since Super Showdown. Really? I mean, that's October.
Time ago.
So, when you actually analyze it and look at it without, Charlotte's getting another opportunity. Well, fucking Charlotte's getting another opportunity because Charlotte Flair is, if not the top of the division, she's one of the tops in the division. She really is a staple of women in WWE, whether people want to admit it or not. Charlotte Flair is absolutely fantastic, and I will argue that to the death, because she is the epitome of what they want out of a woman in sports entertainment. In WWE's world, that's what you want. She's very athletic, very great, has great in-ring psychology, has a very good look. She's got the it factor, and that's not saying that. I'm not saying this has got nothing to do with Becky, but I don't know. You see it as well, being in this weird, wacky world. Charlotte gets a lot of fucking hate.
Oh yeah. It's and a lot of it is unwarranted because she is so good in the ring, and she's she earns her shot. Like, she deserves most of her shots. I mean, she's just so good. I don't know what else to say. She's just so damn good. And you're right, she puts on a good match with just about everybody. I'd say Becky puts on a good match with everybody too.
Yeah.
Charlotte, to her flashier stuff, has more, I think, higher profile matches than Becky.
Yeah, I think that's I think Becky's chance is proving it with people like Lacey Evans. It's a good chance for Becky to prove, hey, she needs to back up. This is more of her chance to back up everything she's saying than with Ronda or Charlotte. Because we know Charlotte can go. We know that. Lacey, is a question mark. Yes, we've seen her in NXT, but her matches on the main roster have been few and far between. So, really, she has no proven track record. So, Becky has an opportunity to make a new star. It doesn't mean that Lacey needs to win. It just needs to make sure that Becky gets the reputation of, I can go in the ring with anybody. And that's not a discredit because, again, Lacey has a huge question mark. So we don't know really how great and how much potential this... We know this girl... Hey, we know this, whether people like her or not, there is certainly potential to be a great star in Lacey Evans. Biasly, I love Lacey, but even taking the bias aside, she has a great look, she has a great character, the girl can talk, and clearly she has a lot of in-ring ability. She has it, she just hasn't had the chance to prove it. Becky is her chance. It's both of their matches to gain more than people probably even think.
Yeah, I think that Lacey could be made. I think this is a potential star-making opportunity for Lacey Evans. If she shows out and has a good match, she doesn't have to win to become a star at Money in the Bank. She could just put out a great fight against the hottest star in the division right now, and that will elevate her profile regardless.
Yeah,
I think it's a huge opportunity for Lacey Evans, and I think you're right that Becky. This is a big proving ground for Becky. Because she's gotten to work with Charlotte for long enough and Ronda, and they both could go, and Asuka could go. Becky worked with her for a brief.
Oh yeah, yes, Asuka too.
And I mean, Lacey could go. We know. I think we could figure that out that Lacey could go.
Yeah.
But this is a new frontier for Becky Lynch. This is a new challenger. We haven't had like a brand new challenger in quite some time.
We haven't. But people always talk about freshness, and when we get it, it seems like everyone wants to complain. And Lacey
people are never satisfied, Josh.
I know. I just wish. I like to associate. Listen, I don't like to. I'm not too much of. I mean, I complain, but I'm not too much of a bitchy, moany type of person when it comes to wrestling. I do genuinely try to look at it with some other eyes, or just get in some kind of other mindset. But, oh man, a majority of the wrestling internet world don't think like that. You look at, Dana Brooke, okay? The Money in the Bank ladder match, Dana Brooke got announced for that, and everybody wanted fresh people. Everyone wanted something different. But Dana's not their choice, so therefore, we don't like that. Lacey Evans is not their choice, so therefore, someone else. It's like, no matter who's in Charlotte Flair, no matter who's in this spot, the people are just like not happy, with the exception of a few. I don't know. I've always been one to just take the journey. For me, someone like Lacey and someone like Dana Brooke, I'm happy that someone else, because this is their opportunity. If they shit the bed come Money in the Bank, then we know they've had their opportunity and they blew it. Give it to someone else. That's how the wrestling world works. It evolves. And you can't make new stars without taking chances. We don't know. Who knows if what Dana Brooke really can do unless you give her a chance. She could be the biggest star in the division in 3 years. We don't know that unless you give her an opportunity. But there's just always going to be someone that, like, this person should have got it. This person should have got it. Would I love to see Ruby Riott in that match? Hell yeah, I would love to see Ruby Riott in that match. But there's only so many spots, and she'll get hers. And if she doesn't, she'll go somewhere where she can get hers. So, I don't know. It just... People are never satisfied. I guess my question to you is, how do you feel about Dana Brooke getting this opportunity? Because you probably
funny because people were rallying around Dana Brooke, for weeks after after she got squashed by Ronda. People were like, "Give Dana Brooke a chance. Give Dana Brooke a chance." And here's her chance. And then they're like, "We'll give Ruby Riott a chance instead, or give Sasha Banks a chance." People were trashing Sasha Banks for weeks about the whole situation going on backstage and her taking time off, but when she's not in the match, it's all of a sudden it's, oh, where's Sasha Banks? Sasha Banks should be in the match. people just are never satisfied. If you give them what they want, they just want something else. I think that Dana Brooke could shine in the Money in the Bank match. I think it's a match where you don't have to be a great wrestler to really thrive. I think if she's willing to take some bumps, earn her stripes, so to speak, then she will get more opportunities. I think Money in the Bank is the perfect opportunity though to make new stars. I don't think she's going to win the briefcase, but does she have a fighting chance as much as anybody else does?
She's in the match, therefore she has an opportunity to win it. That's how I see it. Every single person in any match, if they're in the match, they have an opportunity to win, whether it's, 99% or 1%. Everyone has an opportunity. That's why they're in the match.
And especially because this is like a period of time for the WWE where they're in a bit of a creative flux right now. You're after WrestleMania, where the culmination of most of your storylines takes place. You have to come up with new stuff to do, and you're in that sort of spot where you're not exactly sure where to go from here.
Yeah.
So for all we know, they might not have an answer. Maybe they put it on Dana Brooke. We don't know that. I don't think they know right now.
I don't think they do either.
Hopefully they have an idea, but they might not.
Yeah. Well, that honestly is really, really true, because I don't think anything. This is okay. All right. I'm gonna say something that I normally stay clear of talking about, in the sense of getting to a little bit too into my complete and utter thoughts on a situation. But just because, again, I don't want to come across as just entitled and I know everything, because this is just clearly just my opinion. Okay, when we talk about WWE's views and WWE's plans and long-term plans, short-term plans, I am in the mindset of WWE, especially WWE. I think wrestling in general, but especially WWE, for the most part, does not plan things too long. Or if they do, they only have a rough idea, and then no matter what show you're on, it changes at the drop of a dime. Like, it'll just change, and plans change. So I want to bring up something that I've been avoiding to talk about in full, and that's the Sasha Banks situation. Okay, so, listen. I like Sasha Banks. She was probably my favorite performer 2015, 2016. I really enjoyed Banks' performance. I think everybody did. If I'm wrong, Kevin, you probably did as well.
Oh, I loved her.
She was fantastic. She was the one that we really thought could be the big star of the women's division, for the years to come. And things change and things happen, just with the way they present her, opportunities she's given, title reigns, whatever it may be. Sasha Banks has always been one to be on TV. She's had lots of accomplishments, you look at Banks's list of accomplishments and they look great on paper. Some things didn't probably work out the way she intended or anything, but again, WWE's plans change at the drop of a dime, like I said. Okay, so this whole situation with her, and we don't know every detail. I don't think we ever really will know every detail. And if we do, we're only going to get one side of the story. If Banks is, wanting to leave and she wanted to tell her story, we're not going to get both sides of the story. We're only going to get her side of the story. But so we'll never really know the situation. However, this is just looking at it from an outsider's perspective, and it's just, again, these views are completely my opinion, and please don't hold me just at gunpoint for saying what I'm about to say, because I know a lot of people are huge fans of Sasha, and I still am a fan of Sasha Banks. Just please note that. And Kevin, please don't yell at me from what I'm about to say. But
I'm raring to go.
Okay. So the situation is, this is what we think we know, is that Banks was unhappy. I think she'd probably been pretty unhappy for a little while. And I think her interpretation and her intention with the being the first ever women's tag team champions along with Bayley was that they were in line to have a nice long reign to build up those championships. And I don't think in their brains going into WrestleMania that they thought they were going to lose the match. They thought they weren't going to keep the tag team titles. I don't think that was a thought, at least in their brains. Again, WWE plans change on the fly. I don't know if the plan was for the Iconics to win all this time. But it happened, and at the end of the day, whether Banks is unhappy or not, yes, I know all these people are independent contractors. It's been very well known that these people are independent contractors. But, if Kevin, if you worked for me, right, and I told you to do something, and then you did it and then walked out, I don't think you'd be in very good books with me as a boss. You probably wouldn't be my favorite employee, correct?
I mean, probably not.
Okay, so Banks works for the WWE, and she essentially did what she was told. And listen, if you're unhappy, it probably is a good thing to be like, hey, I'm not happy with what I'm doing. Maybe I should evaluate what I'm doing. And obviously she's not happy, but I think there is a line of, I don't want to say immaturity, because it's not immature, but there is a line of you do what you're told and leaving. And if she is really trying to leave, I guess my question to you, Kevin, is that do you see why WWE won't let her leave?
Oh, it's so tough. I think I mostly side with you on this, where it's probably unnecessary drama that she's pulling. I'm gonna try to play devil's advocate though, because it's fun.
Yeah, go ahead. No, go ahead. I'm not. Again, it's just in my opinion. I'm just stating what's on my brain.
And the thing is with Sasha is that she knows her worth, and I respect that. I respect that she knows what she's worth, and I don't like the things they've done with her. And if I were her, I probably would have walked out at some point too, because there are greener pastures.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. But do you think? Again, we don't know all the details. Just knowing what we think we know, do you think she went about it the right way?
I think she went about it the only way she could have to make an impact. Clearly, she's got WWE in a weird position right now. She holds the I'd say right now she holds the leverage, because I mean it's hard to really hold the leverage with WWE because they could do anything they want. But I think she's put herself in a spot where if they bring her back to TV, they're gonna end up having to push her pretty hard. Because the fans aren't going to the fans are going to be on her side, I think, when she comes back. I know she's gotten a lot of some people are trashing her, but I think once she comes back, people will realize that they're on her side.
Yeah, I agree with that completely, because she, regardless of people's opinions on her, she's a hot topic. So if she comes back, if she appears on WWE television anytime soon, she's going to be one people are talking about. And don't worry, you know how WWE are. They're going to work that into a storyline, into her promos. It's going to be everywhere. But I don't know. It's just my opinion on the situation, and I just maybe think there was probably other ways you could, I don't know. It is a really weird situation, but I guess the question that I'll end on this in that situation is, do you want to see Sasha Banks stay in WWE, or do you want to see her somewhere else?
I want to see her stay in WWE. There's so much she hasn't gotten to do yet. Like we haven't really seen all that she's capable of. We still haven't seen the main roster Sasha Bayley feud that we all deserve. Frankly, we all deserve. And I think that she's still got matches left in the tank with Becky, and with Charlotte. Sasha and Becky could feud over the title. Sasha and Charlotte have had great matches. There's so many things that she hasn't done yet. I think I personally want to see her stay in WWE because I'm a WWE fan first and foremost. If she goes to AEW, I'm going to watch. If she goes anywhere else, I'm going to keep tabs. But I want her to stay in WWE because I think it's truly the best place for her to be.
That's fair. I mean, if she was to walk into AEW or any place, she's got traction, she's a star, and it's questionable, it's arguable, but I think AEW's women's division, although they have great workers, I think they need a big star in their women's division at least. And we don't know what I don't think we don't know what they have up their sleeves, but I think they definitely need someone big.
Yeah, I agree. I think that their women's division is good, but you do need that star. I think their biggest star right now would probably be Britt Baker. She was their first announced signee to the women's division.
Yeah.
Britt Baker's fantastic in the ring. She's not. I wouldn't put her at like mega star level. Sasha Banks is at that mega star level. That would instantly put eyes on your product if you bring her in.
Yeah, because, again, Britt Baker is fantastic, but I don't think a lot of people know who she is. Like, and that's not a discredit to her work, it's just she hasn't had that star platform, I guess. Maybe AEW is the place to make her a star. There's other ladies there that will do well, but I'm glad you brought up AEW, because Double or Nothing is coming up at the end of the month. And I personally haven't really started thinking about it until this past week, and I'm genuinely really excited. I'm not excited about paying $40 to watch it, but I'm gonna. Because I'm not used to paying for events like that. Like, in that sense, it's been a long time since I purchased a pay-per-view type event. I'll buy it on, like, Fight TV or something like that, wherever they're streaming it. I don't know, is that where they're streaming it? Fight TV?
Right. I feel like that's like the place of these promotions.
Yeah. But anyway, I'm excited for it. I think it's gonna genuinely be a pretty pivotal event. I think it is. I really do think. I don't know if I think more, if I just want to hope more that AEW is gonna change up some things. Because let's be honest, we love WWE, and me and you, we always kind of. I know I do. I'm pretty sure you do. You just kind of take things for whatever's happening on the screen. You kind of just try to enjoy whatever they kind of present to you. But because we have no other alternative, really, I know there's other places to watch wrestling, but for this caliber of production, this caliber of sports entertainment, we don't really have any alternatives to watch on a big scale. So we just kind of take things as they are. But I can see why people are frustrated with WWE. I really can, because the product is subpar at the moment. There isn't really a lot to see. Even the build to WrestleMania outside of the final week, it wasn't great. It really wasn't. The event itself was fantastic. I thought WrestleMania was pretty damn good. But the build hasn't been great, and I can see why people may have tapped out on it. I do. And I know those people are just desperately wanting something else. And again, there's not a lot of options. I think AEW, and I hope AEW changes the industry, because I think it can.
I think it can too. I think it could be the most viable competition WWE's had, since the heyday of TNA, which would be like, your late 2000s. I find myself. I don't think I've gotten quite into the swing of things with AEW yet. I know most of the matches just through announcements on Twitter. I know we're getting Cody and Dustin Rhodes, which will be a spectacle.
That put me on a different level. Sorry to butt in, but that put me on a different level of excitement. I don't know why that match did it for me, but there was some things like Kenny and Jericho would be fantastic. I think it's a triple threat women's match. That'll be fantastic. There's just some things, but Cody and Dustin just raised it right up for me. I really did.
Yeah, that's like your big money match. Other than that, I off the top of my head, what do we got? We got the Bucks and the Lucha Bros,
which would be good, but it's not like, okay, I don't really love the Young Bucks. I think I don't.
I do. I like. The Young
I know
Bucks.
a lot of people do. Majority of people do. I'm not discrediting that they're not bad. I don't know. There's something about them I don't love. I kind of find them quite arrogant, but I don't know. They're good, but they certainly know it. Regardless, it will be a very fun tag match. I'm trying to think off the top of my head as well. What else is there? Other than like Jericho and Omega, which will be great.
Oh yeah, we already know those two could put on a hell of a match.
And Jericho is a star. They obviously have Jericho's more there, although he can still go in the ring. He's there as a star. He's there as name, and that is fine. But I think what we can kind of, we've had lots of opportunities where we've talked about other companies and like, this is viable options, like TNA when it was in its time. But the thing that AEW have that none of those other have, I hate to bring it to this, is money. They have a lot of money. They can rival Vince McMahon's bank account. They can. And that is why I think this time is going to be different.
I agree with you. I think that's a good point, Josh. They have a big old pocket to be pulling bills from. And the Khan family, they seem to be genuinely interested in making this work. They're not just like throwing their money around to see what happens. They're genuine wrestling fans that want to make a change in the business. And I also think that's something that you maybe didn't see with, like, they don't just want to be competition to WWE. They want to change the game. Yeah, that's something I don't think we saw with TNA or even WCW. Maybe I feel like they just wanted to compete with the WWE.
They wanted to put WWE out of business. That's what they wanted to do. AEW knows they're better than putting someone out of business in the sense of, they aren't going with the intention of we're gonna beat WWE. They're just like, we're gonna be the best we can be, and that always shines through because who knows what's gonna happen in the next few years. I honestly think AEW is going to be the cool wrestling product. Do you see? I mean, this is just me shooting for nothing, but do you see that? Maybe, or do you think that maybe, it's been a long time since wrestling was quote-unquote cool. Do you think we could get to that place with AEW where pro wrestling is more mainstream and cool than it is now? I know there's certain stigmas against it, and there is other things where it is different from, 20 years ago, and there is more people that are accepting to watch it, but it's not cool. I don't think it's cool to watch. Well, I don't know. But I
feel pretty cool.
I mean, I do too, but we're in the world. We're in the world of it. So, I don't know. Do you think AEW could make it cool to everybody?
Yeah, because they're going to be like that edgier rock star cousin to WWE. That's what they're going to be perceived as no matter what they try to do. That's how they're going to be looked at. They're going to be looked at as competition and counterculture to WWE. I think that wrestling's become more mainstream accepted in recent years, especially in America with the coverage the wrestling gets from ESPN and from major media outlets that it didn't get maybe 5 years ago.
True.
But I definitely think this is going to bring more of like a rock star vibe to wrestling. I think it's going to be, they're going to have attitude, for lack of a better term, not to be cliche. Yeah, it was a very big cliche. But they're going to have that attitude. And I think that's going to draw people in and make it a little bit cooler. Yeah,
I agree. It's going to have that edgy feel. I mean, if you watch that promo that Cody did a couple of days ago on, what's it called? Being the Elite? Is that what it's called?
The Road to Double or Nothing. There's the Road to Double or Nothing and there's Being the Elite. They both are like the same, almost the same shit.
Yeah. He cut a fantastic
Yeah, he
very
does.
real, organic promo. And it was just very, it was just real. There's no better word to really say than that. It was just okay, when we're in the wrestling world, so I don't know if you do this or if it's just me, but when I watch a good promo, it's like everything else becomes invisible, and there's nothing that can distract me. I just watch it, and that 3 minutes that he was talking, I was just like, wow. That almost to the point sold me completely on, like, I'm not missing Double or Nothing for the world. I'm not missing this show because it's gonna be, it's just gonna, I don't know, I just feel like I need to watch that show live just to be like, I'm witnessing something different. And then as we roll along and we've got, like, more shows that they're putting out, and then when they put out their television show, it's going to change everything. And I'm praying for the life of me that I can watch AEW's television show live, because I don't know if I'm going to be able to on any television station here. I don't think it's going to be a thing. I think it's going to be more American-based, at least at the start, which is a shame because, I mean, I can still find it. There's still ways to watch it. It's not the point, but it would just be easier if it was on my television screen. But,
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just, I feel like it's just a fun time. It's gotten me excited for just the potential it has, I guess. I guess we talk about potential a lot. But anyway, moving on from...
Everybody's got potential. Yeah. Everything has potential. It's true. Whether or not they're able to capitalize and make moves off of that potential, which I think they will.
Yeah, I agree. Speaking of potential, I don't know if you happened to catch Rebellion, the Impact pay-per-view this past week.
I did not.
I watched some of it. I didn't watch all of it. Okay. I don't want to sound like I'm a production guy, but I kind of am. I don't know. I hate being like that, but I guess I'm just so formulated to the way... I guess I'm spoiled, I guess is the word, because I'm so used to the high quality standard of how a wrestling program is presented. And I'm not saying that Impact doesn't have it, but there certainly is areas where it seems... I don't want to use the word cheap, because it's not cheap. It's just they lack in some areas. Regardless, I did happen to catch some of Impact's pay-per-view this past week, and the level of talent they actually have in that company is very good. Is the name Impact Wrestling just cursed? Because it's not the talent in the ring. It certainly isn't the talent in the ring. I don't think this company will ever get to a spot where they're viable competition.
No, I think that I do think the name has a negative connotation about it. I know personally for me, I haven't gotten back into Impact in like 6-7 years, and even though it's probably as good right now as it's been in a while, it's just something about it. Like I don't like the roster very much.
Nope.
The production isn't always there. They're so hard to find on TV that I can't watch them weekly anymore. If I want to go on Twitch, I could. That was a big thing for them. That actually made me think about, maybe tuning in. Friday night's a tough night because I'm usually doing stuff Friday night. But
Friday nights are gonna have to change.
Yeah, I don't want to postpone plans or cancel plans to watch Impact when I don't really care that much about it. And I think that's just going to be a thing with a lot of people, is that they remember Impact, they hear Impact Wrestling, and they think low budget, talent never wants to be there, stuff like that. You think of all the guys who left as opposed to the guys who have come in.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just something about... I'm not really into... they're talented, but I'm not really into too many people. I'm not like, I want them somewhere... If it is, it's I want them somewhere else. because I don't want to. I'm not watching Impact on a week-to-week basis. I keep tabs on what's going on. If I know that I have to watch something, I do. Like with the pay-per-view, I watch what I wanted to. Like I watched Tessa because I love Tessa Blanchard. I think she's fantastic. But it's not because I want her to be great in Impact. I want her somewhere else. I want her to come out of Impact because, I mean, I don't watch that product enough, and maybe that's on me. But her and Gail, I thought had a pretty damn good match. Some people didn't really like that match at all, but I did. I really do. Tessa's probably the one person that really comes to mind. I think that's the same for a lot of people. Is Tessa is really good.
Yeah, Tessa's great, and she's probably the first person I think of when I hear TNA now too. Is Tessa Blanchard. After that, like I don't care much for Johnny Impact, Morrison,
me either.
Mundo, World,
Johnny Nitro, whatever the fuck his name is this week. He changes his name more than I change my Twitter handle. Like I change my Twitter handle every fucking week.
You do.
I do.
You're hard to keep tabs on.
maybe that's the point. Maybe that's the point. I want no one to fucking find me.
There you go. Yeah, Impact, not a big fan of. Moose, not a big fan of.
No.
I haven't seen enough of that Killer Cross fella to really hold judgment because he's like relatively new and didn't really go anywhere else before.
Yeah, I agree.
He's been in AAA. I don't watch AAA. I don't really know too much about AAA. But other than that, like I think of Tessa. I think of Jordan Grace.
Yeah, I think of her too because I just see her on Twitter a lot because she's funny on Twitter.
She's all over Twitter. She pops into my feed like every day doing something.
Yeah, she's always, I don't know, doing something on Twitter. But that's, I mean, again, that's why I know her. I honestly haven't seen too much of her work. I'm just being honest. I've seen a few matches of hers and she's fine. But I just see her more from Twitter. But again, I think Tessa's the one that comes to everybody's brain. Obviously, there's going to be others.
And a lot of their big stars, you don't even like right now, currently, you don't think of their big stars as TNA guys. Like you look at Johnny Impact, and you're like, well, he used to be in the WWE. You look at Moose, he used to be in, I believe, Ring of Honor. You look at the Lucha Bros, Pentagon Jr. and Phoenix, like, oh, those are Lucha Underground guys.
Yeah, it is very like they take their people from. Not to say that's a bad thing, but you have to still have people that represent your brand. And I think that's, when people are like, oh, AEW has a lot of ex-WWE guys or ex-New Japan guys, but I look at Cody Rhodes, and I see he screams AEW. He does. And I think that's just because we've been embroidered in our brains that that's one of AEW's talents. Jericho's never going to be one I scream as AEW. He's always going to be a WWE guy in another place. But that's just because of his tenure with WWE. But there's other people that, as we watch that product more, which I'm sure we both will, that will be like, they're AEW guys. They're not people that have come in from other places. But Impact is not like that. Because I just think Impact is a small company, and I really don't see it. I think AEW is going to hurt Impact more than it's going to hurt WWE. I think I've said that before, but I don't know. It is what it is. But I watched Impact's pay-per-view. I watched Gail and Tessa. I mean, Gail's great. She's obviously experienced. Tessa's great. What else did I watch? I watched that ladder match thingo they had. That was fine. I didn't really watch too much else. I don't really have too much of an opinion on what's his name, Brian Cage or whatever his name is.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of Cage either.
So
he's someone I think of, and I think Lucha Underground more than TNA.
Yeah, and maybe that's just us because we don't watch the product that often. I don't know how it appears to everybody else.
Yeah, probably.
But I mean, nonetheless, we still see it as that. But hey, what are we? There's something else I want to talk to you about because I know you have opinion on it. I want to talk about Becky Lynch for a minute because a lot of people are talking about the fact that maybe her light is dimming. is she losing steam? I'll let you kind of go with this one. Do you think Becky Lynch has lost her good grace almost, lost her appeal?
To some people, yeah, but I don't think those people are looking at it the right way. Well, I'll stick with your metaphor. You say the light is dimmed. I say the light is still as bright as ever. Our eyes have just gotten more accustomed to it. Like, we've seen it for so long that she's still red hot. She still gets huge ovations, but it's not like it was back in August when she turned on Charlotte, and everyone was like, "Oh my God, Becky Lynch it's God's gift to women's wrestling." It's not like that anymore. It's just that we acknowledge that she's really good. She's still hot. She still gets the ovations, and she still gets the good matches, and she's still the double champ. But I think we've become accustomed to it, and I think when people become accustomed to something, they immediately want something new.
Yeah. I agree, and listen, there's obviously a lot more hate against Becky than there was 6 months ago, but that comes with the territory of being on top, no matter who you are. But it's certainly not in the crowd. If you watch Raw this week, they certainly weren't over Becky 2 belts. They weren't over that shtick. They weren't over Becky. Becky's over, and I don't think that's going away anytime soon. It's questionable whether she is as hot as she was, but no one can maintain that level of hotness for too long. I mean, it's not, it's pretty hard to do. But again, people watched her get to the top and didn't really give her too much of a chance. It was like 2 weeks and we're like, we're done with Becky, on to the next one. It's like, that's the problem with this industry, I think, is that no one gives anyone a dang chance. This is Becky's chance now to run with the 2 titles, and it just seems like there's a lot of people against it. But it just comes with the territory, I guess.
Yeah, whenever you're on top, there's always going to be people. You're going to have a target on your back. You're going to receive a lot of hate. Yep. You see the same thing with Rollins. People hate on Seth Rollins now that he's at the top. Yep. Not as much, but you see it. And obviously,
I agree.
Obviously, when Lesnar was champion, people hated Lesnar. But before he became champion, everyone loved when he came around.
Yeah,
I self-included. I am also to blame for this because I loved Lesnar, and then he held the belt for so long, and I'm like, I hate him.
Oh,
now he doesn't have the belt again. Yeah, like he's going to be at the Saudi Arabia event in whenever they're going there. I forget when they're going to Saudi Arabia. June
7th.
June 7th. That's not too far away. Not far enough, honestly.
It's the pay-per-view after Money in the Bank.
Great. But Lesnar's going to be there, and I'm excited. As long as he's not facing Seth Rollins for the belt, I'm excited. But they did away with contractually obligated rematches, so he doesn't really have a claim to the belt anymore, which is nice. I think that because they booked Goldberg, they booked Lesnar, and I think they booked Taker, I have like this awful feeling that those 3 are going to be in like a triple threat main event.
Oh man, yeah, probably. That's probably what they want. I'm glad you brought up the Saudi Arabia show because I want to get there to kind of talk about that. But first, we're going to take a quick little break to hear from one of our Brainbuster family members. We'll be back in like 20 seconds. We'll see you in a minute.
Hey there, this is Wilford from Wilford Watches Podcast, and you're listening to Wrestling Reverb.
Alright, so this is where we're at. We're back from our little break. We need to talk about the Saudi Arabia show, because I know a lot of people are going to be very opinionated towards this show. Okay, so obviously there was a lot of controversy surrounding November's event, Crown Jewel, and there was a lot of things going into that show just within the world that kind of dictated our opinions on Crown Jewel. Now, going into this event, whatever the fuck it's going to be called, who knows, on June 7th, I think as a society we forget about things, and I think there's not as much controversy surrounding it, but there's certainly going to be opinions towards the show. I'm trying to get in the mindset of it is just a wrestling show, and They're just fans going to watch wrestling, which is fine. But I guess I don't know. I don't know how to feel about it. I'm still going to watch it. I just don't know how. Even looking at it just from a crowd perspective, that crowd was so quiet at Crown Jewel. Like it wasn't a good crowd. Like it just sucked. So it's not even like the fans are energetic. No, they're just all sitting on their hands. And, you know, I understand. Like, listen, WWE's a business. They're just trying to make money. So, yeah, okay, you're getting paid a lot of money to go over there. Which is what it is. But, I don't know. I don't know how to feel about it. I get in the biased mind of why can't they come back here, but they can go to Saudi every year for fucking 2 shows a year. But, I don't know. We've talked about the fact that WWE present themselves as a global company, but they really don't do too much outside of, you know, America. And, you know, they do the European tour, and then they do the Saudi shows. They don't really do too much else television-wise.
Yeah. It's, oh god, I hate the Saudi shows. They just haven't, like, I mean, we've gotten 2, and neither of them were particularly memorable. The crowds aren't great in Saudi Arabia, like you said. The matches they put on are clearly intended for like fans who are older. Instead of pushing your current stars, you go into Saudi Arabia for Crown Jewel and you main event with Kane, Taker, Triple H, and Shawn Michaels, who broke his retirement to take place in that farce of a match.
No, it was a bad match.
Still, that pisses me off. It was the best kept retirement in wrestling, and he ruined it just to take place in that. That absolutely blows my mind, grinds my gears.
In his defense, just to play devil's advocate, I guess he didn't know that match was going to be like that, and we couldn't really foretell that Triple H was going to get hurt. So, I mean...
Fair, but still, like, I
know what you mean, though. I do get what you mean. Shawn, I was in the opinion of Shawn should have stayed retired forever. He was the one person that kind of stuck to his word and was like, I'm done, I'm not wrestling again, and he didn't for 8 years, and then he did. On paper, that you look at that match, and you fucking hell, like, damn, like, this is going to be a good dang time in 2007. Not so much in 2018 when it took place. I guess the only thing we can take from these Saudi shows is Crown Jewel. We can take that it was just notoriously bad. It was just a bad show. So that's what we remember about it. And I guess the greatest Royal Rumble is the tightest, whatever the fuck you call it. What was it?
Tightest World Slide.
There we go. That's what I remember from the greatest Royal Rumble. I honestly.
Yeah. That's all I remember from that entire 50-man Royal Rumble. Absolute just mess.
That was a mess.
Was that Titus tripped and fell under the ring.
Yep.
I almost forgot I almost just didn't remember who won the thing. It was Strowman. And Daniel Bryan set the record for the longest time in a Rumble match.
I don't count that. I don't count that as a real Royal Rumble. I know they do, but I don't.
Bullshit. Totally bullshit. I don't count that. Rey Mysterio lasted longest in a real Royal Rumble because the greatest Royal Rumble was just something to make the Saudis happy. We sold out.
Yeah, I don't know. Listen, I know we say it like we are, but you and me both know that we're going to watch that show.
Yeah.
I'm going to watch it. I'm not one of those people that are like, I'm cancelling the network. It's like, no, at the end of the day, it's still a wrestling show and I'm still going to watch it. Just because, listen, WWE can't change a culture. It's not a matter of that. And I know some people are like, I'm not watching it because women aren't on this show and I'm not watching it because of this. That's fine. I completely respect that. But WWE, if you look at it from a positive side, which I always try to do, is WWE is going in with the intention of we're trying to bring a different form of entertainment to Saudi Arabia because, listen, a lot of those fans are kids in the audience. You know, they don't know any different culturally. They're just trying to enjoy some WWE. So I try to see it in that light, but I do see everyone's point. I ain't watching that shit live though, because it's on at like 3 a.m. in Australia.
I'll probably watch it live. It's on like the afternoon or something here.
Yeah.
If I'm not doing anything, I'll watch it. I'm not gonna make it like a priority. Again, I'm not canceling the network because the network is amazing.
Yeah.
I'm not, and one person's not going to make a dent.
No way. They couldn't give a fuck.
I feel like all those people that talk about canceling the network don't actually do it.
No
because
way
then
they don't.
Then they're like, "Oh, that show was so bad. How do you know that show was so bad if you deleted the network? You did."
Yeah, I agree. And I listen. If you don't want to watch that show, that's your. Hey, it's like any other show. If you don't want to watch it, don't. I don't. Like, it doesn't make any difference if you don't watch it or you do. In the grand scheme of things, I don't think it's going to matter too much. If you miss it, you'll see what you need to see. But it is a controversial topic. I knew that it was going to get us a bit riled up. But, hey, we can't change it. And it is what it is. But just, why can't you come back here, WWE? Why can't you come back to my country? And we sold out an 80,000 seat stadium. We paid you good money. You put on a decent show. We are a good crowd. Just please, go to England more. Why can't we have pay-per-views in England or network shows like Super Showdown in England? And, around the world, be a global company that you present yourself to be, not just stick to places that are going to pay you the most money. I understand you're a business, you have to make money. Saudi's paying you a lot of money. I understand that. But we paid you a lot of money and it's not making you stay here for 10 years. Come on. I don't know. I'm not going to talk about that topic for too much longer because it'll just spiral into something that I don't even want to talk about. What I do want to talk about is that it's now been over a month on Brainbusta Radio, and I don't know about you, Kev, but I didn't expect this kind of traction this quickly. We're getting a lot of interaction that we didn't get before.
Yeah, I didn't know what to expect necessarily, but we're killing it, man. We are absolutely killing the game. Not just us, everybody.
Oh, yeah, everybody.
All of our Brainbusta Radio brethren and sisterin. I don't think sisterin's a word, but you can't forget about Queen.
No.
We've been doing so well, and we're getting interactions, which I think is the most important thing, even more so than numbers, is that people are reaching out. They want to be on the shows. They want to they want to listen to our shows. That's crazy. There's people out there that want to listen to us talk, which is so weird.
It blows my mind. It really blows my mind. Just the fact that people genuinely want to talk to us. And listen, as you know, Kevin, as everybody knows, I've started to branch out with some other things. And just last night, I had an actual double-digit number pop into my Twitch stream. I've never had that before. It wasn't a big, huge number, but I was like, what the hell? People are talking to me. People are following me. People want to see me do other things. And it's just this is weird. This all have started because I started talking about wrestling on a podcast. It just blows my mind. I would have never had the confidence to start up diving in, to Twitch stream, to do YouTube videos, whatever the hell I'm doing, if it wasn't for this show. And I'm sure it probably relates with your stuff as well, Kevin, because I know you were writing beforehand, but I can sense that you've gained a certain level of confidence from doing this.
Yeah, again, just to go back to where it all started in January at the Rumble, I wasn't sure, it was my first time on a podcast. I wasn't sure how it was going to go. And it went so well. And I think we've both just gotten better and better since then.
Yeah, we've just gotten more comfortable, I think. Today, for example, guys, we'll let you in on a little behind the scenes of Wrestling Reverb. We had no fucking clue what we were going to talk about today. We were literally I have no idea what we're going to talk about. So we just started up the Skype call, press record, and hope for the best. And we're an hour in, and we're still talking. So
that happens frequently. A lot of times we go to the show without a plan, and we just spitball, and it always just works.
There's sometimes our best shows.
We haven't had a show where we were just dead air.
No. Well, listen, dead air with me isn't a thing. I talk like crazy. I just talk.
I know.
Kevin puts up with me. Kevin puts up with me at all different times of the day, and it's just oh boy. But it is just it's weird. I just love what I'm doing, And I listened to you on no particular angle this week. Everyone go check that out, JPQ show. Big Paws on a Pup. And Kevin was kind of putting the show over at the beginning for a little while, and I heard you say that you just genuinely love what you are doing, and I just can't echo that enough, because we just really like doing this. Yeah,
man, this is so much fun. This is a blast. I don't even remember. I haven't gone back and listened to NPA yet. Usually I don't go back and listen to stuff we do because I lived it.
Yeah.
Sometimes if I'm in the car, we'll put on Wrestling Reverb, and everyone could listen to me talk, and it's a lot of fun. But I'm gonna have to go back and listen because I don't remember what I said at the beginning. I remember the conversation me and JPQ had. I don't remember putting the show over.
You did, because I was like, when I seen that, I'm like, all right, I'm gonna give myself a pat on the back because Kevin's gonna talk about me, and you did.
I'm glad I did. I'm glad I didn't forget my roots.
But yeah, it's just I'm just really enjoying what I'm doing. I'm not doing it enough. It's just because I've got so much other stuff happening, and it's just like we said at the start, it's just a bit of a blah time. But we're leading into Money in the Bank. We're leading into Double or Nothing. I think we're gonna have some content to do. I don't think we're gonna have too many shows where we're just spitballing like this. But I do want to talk about one more thing, and it'd just be an attack on me if I didn't talk about it. How fucking well are the Iconics doing, Kev?
Dude, they're killing it. People are it's so much fun to watch people slowly buy into an act over time, especially as organically as this is happening. Like, they went from getting no reaction to getting like just booed out of the building, and now people are starting to get in their corner. I know. Our Brainbuster dad, Wilf, is a big Iconics fan now. I don't think he could have said that like 2 months ago. No, I agree. I agree completely. Obviously, I've been on the Iconics train for quite some time, but yeah, Josh is the conductor on the Iconics train.
I'm driving this thing as long as it stays on the tracks. I'm milking it for everything that they have. Their little backstage segments, it's the stuff that doesn't air on TV sometimes that they're doing their best. Because those little backstage segments that they have are just, oh my god, they're just entertaining. They're morons. They're just morons, and I love it. They're just total, just idiots. They really are, and I mean that with complete sincerity. I mean that in a wonderful way. They're just idiots. They don't seem like, when they do those little .com exclusives, I feel like they're just like, we're just going to film you, do what you want. Like, and it's just like, they're just very good at being themselves. Like, you can tell it's them. You can tell that's how they talk to each other. I think Billie Kay is just hilarious. And go on.
She is. No, I was just laughing. She is hilarious.
Oh man, I mean, you gotta be joking me. You know when she gets that
such a great line.
That guttural, she does the high pitched ones, but then you've gotta be joking me. When she gets that real, I mean, that's just how I talk. I'm like, oh, this is amazing. Peyton is really funny too. Billy's like the obvious funny one, but Peyton has a few little lines in there where she's just funny. I've watched so many .com exclusives of them because they seem to have one every show. That one they did the night after WrestleMania, it was like 9 minutes of them going around and showing off their side plates to people. Like, I just 9 minutes of them just walking around. They yelled at Drake Maverick, and they called Bobby Lashley Bob Dog. Like, and they said Schmick. Who says Schmick? I don't even know if you've ever heard me say Schmick, but that's an Australian term.
I was going to say, what is that?
Schmick is like, it's good. It's Schmick. I don't even know. Yeah, Billy says it all. And have you noticed Billie Kay keeps saying toots?
Yeah.
She keeps saying toots. And they were on commentary this week and on SmackDown, and they were just like, I was like, this is incredible. They're just, I don't know. I just love them so much. And it's not biased. I don't have to say I'm biased anymore because a lot of people are getting on this train. There's still some people that are like, they're annoying, they're this, but in a sense they're meant to be, but I can see this they're gonna be in a different spot in 6 months because Whether they drop the tag team titles or not, I don't think it matters because I think they're getting really over.
I think they're sticking around no matter what. Like they're not gonna if they've become too valuable to take off TV.
Yeah, they really have. They're entertaining. They're just idiots. I love them so much. I could just watch them all day. They're just fantastic. I knew that I was... Listen, I can't go an episode without talking about the Iconics in some form, or just saying iconic. I mean, it's just a way of life. I had my wonderful mother yesterday pop in for a little bit of SmackDown Live, and she doesn't know shit about wrestling. She was making some comments. The one that sticks out to me the most is Lars Sullivan is, in her words, atrociously ugly. And I can't really say that I argue that.
Yeah, that's not wrong. Mrs. Robinson, that's good take.
And the first thing she asked me is Trish Stratus going to be on this show? And I was like, oh dear, this isn't going to be good. She knew who Becky Lynch was. She knew who the Hardy Boys were. She popped out just after the Iconics were in commentary, and she was like, oh, they're Australian. I'm like, yeah, my mum talks very similar to Billie Kay. Like, she actually just genuinely talks like that. So, you know, I have a walking Billie Kay in my home, basically. She's not as funny. I think she's unintentionally funny, where Billie's a bit more intentionally funny. I find my mum hilarious, but she's not trying to be hilarious. It's just how she talks. But nonetheless, it was a very weird experience to watch 40 minutes of SmackDown with mum, because it was just, what is this? But, Iconics, great. They're doing great stuff. I hope nothing but the best. I feel like probably Asuka and Kairi Sane will probably beat them for the tag team titles, but okay, I'll accept it. I like Kairi Sane, I like Asuka, I like Paige. How do you feel about that little trio? Is it working or is it forced?
I think it's working. I think Paige is the perfect mouthpiece for him. She needs to be in place somehow on WWE TV. She's too valuable.
I agree.
To keep off. Like I just said about the Iconics, Paige is too valuable to keep off TV. And I like that this gives Asuka something important to strive for. Because she was floating, she was treading water, and now she's got titles on the mind, which is how she should be. And I love Kairi Sane. I think Kairi Sane is amazing. I love her gimmick. I love the pirate stuff. I loved when she would open the treasure chest and the NXT women's title would be in there.
Yes,
that's all good stuff. Hopefully she does the same thing with the women's tag titles.
Yeah, I'm going to be very upset.
Oh, I know. You'll get over it.
I'm going to try and accept it, but it's going to be a sad day, and oh man, I hope they build this story to, I mean, just organically build it to Asuka and Kairi winning eventually. I don't know if they're going to wrestle at Money in the Bank, but if they do, like, I hope that the Iconics just keep onto those titles for just a little bit, and then we see them drop them. But I think they're going to put the titles on Asuka and Kairi Sane, and it is what it is. But my ladies have done more for those championships, I think, than anyone, than Bayley and Banks. But that might be a little bit biased. But I genuinely think that they've put more character on those titles than Bayley and Banks did. But I won't get into that situation again, because I'll have all those Sasha and Bayley stans coming at me, and I don't need that. That stan culture. Yeah. But yeah, let's kind of anything else you want to kind of talk about, Kev? Is there anything on your brain with wrestling that you want to talk about with your writing or with any kind of... Hey, if you have any questions for Diving In, this is the place to do it, because Diving In debuts next Tuesday, and I don't know if people are... I feel like some people are still like, does that mean Wrestling Revamp's ending and stuff like that? Which it isn't, but do you have any questions of any kind of anything wrestling? Just talk.
I want to get your real quick 2 weeks out, more than two and a half weeks out. Who do you think leaves Money in the Bank with the briefcases?
Oh,
gut reaction.
Okay, if I had to choose right now, men's-wise, I'm saying Andrade. Women, I would say, I'm going to take a stab in the dark. Mandy Rose.
Okay. We agree with Andrade. We agree on Andrade. I like Ember Moon to win the women's briefcase. I just think she's too talented and she needs a course correction, and this is the perfect way to do it.
Okay, can I explain why I said Mandy?
Please do.
Look at the heels in that match. There's one. Well, Bliss is questionable as a heel. There's two if you count Bliss. And you look at all the talent in the ring, Mandy's kind of the odd one out. And WWE like to do things that are a little bit off the rails. And if you put the briefcase on Mandy... Yeah, exactly. You need to take shots. You need to take some chances on people. And if you look at Mandy, she can hold that briefcase for a long time and gain a lot of heat. A lot of heat. So that's why I'm saying Mandy. Andrade is more of a personal preference, I think.
Yeah, I think it's... Yeah, Mandy's not a bad pick, and I do agree with your sentiment that she's going to hold it for a long time if she wins, build up that heat. I think if Ember wins, she might cash in as soon as that night.
Yeah, Ember, personally, this is weird for me to say, but I want Bayley to win. I want Bayley to win because I think Bayley has the potential to be really... Bayley's not a character you can ruin because her character is so childish, in a sense. You can't... Bayley can lose all the time and it almost doesn't matter. She is an underdog character. So... And I think Bayley is treading in the waters of... I know it's easy to compare to Becky, but if you look at Becky going into Money in the Bank last year, she was slowly gaining a little bit of traction. If you listen to Bayley's reaction since coming to SmackDown, she's got this little edge to her. She's got this little... I don't know, she's just gaining a lot of momentum. I can just see that moment at Money in the Bank where she's climbing the ladder and people are going nuts. I can see that happening. And then I can just see Mandy Rose just pushing her off and we get Mandy win. I can. I'm just trying to think in a WWE sense. I don't... Personally, I like Mandy, but I don't really want Mandy to win. But I can see that happening. I don't know, but as long as Alexa Bliss doesn't win, because not anything against Bliss, I like Bliss, but I feel like last year they wasted both of the Money in the Bank briefcases on people that didn't need them. I don't think Bliss needs the Money in the Bank.
No, I don't think so either. I think her pedigree is enough to where she's like in the title picture all the time, no matter what.
You could put her against, like, the night after Money in the Bank. You could literally put her in a title match and it doesn't seem weird.
No, yeah. And the same thing with Strowman. That was like the worst thing that could ever happen to him.
As long as he doesn't win the Money in the Bank briefcase as well, I'm kind of happy.
Yeah, I'll be happy with almost everybody else in that match except Strowman, which is how I felt last year, and Strowman won. Yeah, so. That's
how I felt too. Even Baron Corbin, I wouldn't care too much because guess what? He's a fantastic heel. Get over it, people.
He'd be a great Universal Champion.
I know, and I hate saying it because he pisses me off, but he was meant to. He has genuine heat that not many people do. He's
the truest heel in the company right now, I'd say.
I'd say so too. There's no one that's more... He doesn't get cheat. People genuinely don't like that dude. Like,
yeah.
I don't like him. I don't want to like him. He's not likable. He's got a very punchable face.
I love his ring attire, though.
Oh, man, the suit.
I love it.
It's shirt and dress pants.
Friday's waiter look. I love it.
Oh, man. But yeah, as long as it's not Bliss and Strowman, I'm pretty happy, honestly.
Yeah.
Even... Listen, I wouldn't be that surprised if Dana Brooke won, because it's so out of the ordinary.
Yeah, I can see it.
I can just picture all of these things happening. I can see
Abby winning as like a career achievement.
Yeah, I could too. Hey. Money in the Bank outcomes are fun. The matches are always fun, even when they're quote-unquote bad Money in the Bank ladder matches. We said on our rewind last week, they're still Money in the Bank ladder matches, and they're still a ladder match. They're still fun.
Yes.
So that'll be fun. We're gearing up for all different kinds of things. I think that'll kind of do us for this week. I mean, there's not really much else to talk about. We kind of covered everything that we wanted to this week. Just general chit-chat. But please make sure you follow me on Twitter at JoshRobertson00. You can find me at JoshRobertson00 on Twitch, on YouTube, on Facebook. You can even find me there. And on Instagram at JoshRobinsonHost. And please make sure you check out Diving In with Josh starting next Tuesday. With Wilf. It is a fantastic chat. You can catch that on... I just search Diving In with Josh. Anywhere you kind of find podcasts, and you will find it. All the links are on my Twitter. Kevin, where can we find you at Twitter, and where can we find your blogs and writings?
So you can find me on Twitter at the same place you've been finding me, because I don't change my handle like Josh. I'm at Kevin C. Wrestling. You can find my writing on divadirt.com, thechairshot.com, and thelastbloggerstanding.wordpress.com is my personal blog. Check all that stuff out. There's going to be a lot more stuff coming down the pike. I've been real busy with some of my writing. And that's where you can catch me.
Yeah, and Kevin's got all different kinds of stuff. And yeah, like I said, please make sure you check out Diving In. I'm always on Twitch, just hanging around, playing whatever the fuck I want. And stuff like that. So if you're interested in that kind of stuff, make sure you give me a follow on Twitch and catch me whenever I'm live. All my stuff goes on YouTube as well. And yeah, keep listening on Brainbusta Radio, and we'll see you guys soon. Peace out.
Hey guys, while Josh is gracing you with his gorgeous Aussie accent and Kevin is blowing your mind with Gratz Talk, just remember to start your week right every Monday by checking out the wise owl of professional wrestling, Omega Luke, right here on Brainbusta Radio.
Guys, I want to take a quick moment to talk about PowerSlam.tv. It is a pro wrestling network with over 5,000 hours of content from over just an amazing array of different pro wrestling companies. And exclusively for Wrestling Reverb listeners, if you use the code REVERB, that's REVERB, you can get your first month at PowerSlam.tv absolutely free. Your first month is free, it's on them, and you can go and watch all this amazing pro wrestling content from all over the world. That's PowerSlam.tv with the code REVERB.